Ok, se cortó el directo en la mejor parte. En la parte donde iba a solucionarse lo del suicidio. Y se cortó. A ver. Espérenme, por favor. Yo lo soluciono. Vamos a copiar, le damos a pegar y le damos a compartir. Listo. Listo. Esta vez sí la salvamos. Se cortó. Justo tenía... No, ¿qué pasó? Ah, ya vi. Ya sabía que eras tú, de hecho. Pero... Usted dele like, usted dele like.
Kate, this is our chance to beat the bullies. That's the only way we can win against them.
Can we really, Max? I don't believe in miracles anymore either.
Now I do. You're part of the reason why. If you come down with me, I can tell you more.
You're such a good person, Max.
Esto también es contenido de Crew, acuérdate.
But I'll come with you. You're my friend.
Forever. Can we hug on it?
No. Nobody cares about me. Nobody.
¿Qué? Se va a morir, sálvala. Ok, esta última es importante porque si le dijo mal se va a ofender y se va a suicidar. Y antes de que haga un chiste, en este caso sí es entendible el que se ofenda por lo que ha pasado y sacarle el tema de sus hermanos o sus padres que en realidad no han estado con ella en esos momentos. Así que tenemos que pensarle bien. Tu madre, tu padre, tus hermanas o tus hermanos. Ok, aquí dice, bajo ningún concepto tendremos que decirle tus hermanos o tu madre, ya que esto puede ser, sí, ok. Tus hermanas. Ay, Checo, sálvala, hay niños presentes. ¡Ah! ¿Tus hermanas? Tus hermanas, tus hermanas, tus hermanas, tus hermanas, tus hermanas.
You told me about your sisters, especially the youngest one. What's her name?
That's Lynn. She's only 10. She does have the best smile ever. I would hate to see her sad. I'm sorry. Sorry.
What are you talking about? You saved me from talking in class.
Se salvó. Soy un héroe.
Now I know it's difficult for everybody, but I'm the hero for getting Kate to come down, Max.
El multiverso.
She's modest. Like a real hero.
Yeah, real hero.
As principal of Blackwell Academy, I take my duties seriously. I take the well-being of every student more seriously. What happened today should never
multiverso en
happen. All
Doctor
of wisdom
Strange.
and knowledge. Mr. Madsen, as our head of security here, those roof doors should always be locked. That's just standard operating procedure. They were not, and that is indeed your responsibility. Mr. Jefferson, I know you can't be expected to know what your students are going through, but Kate has assisted you in class, so you should have known something was amiss. Mr. Prescott, since you are responsible for the Vortex Club parties, and since Miss Marsh did attend your last party, you'll have to answer some
Y él
more
fue el
questions.
responsable.
Miss Caulfield, Why exactly were you on the route with Kate Marsh? Did she tell you her plan? Or anything at all? Please, tell us everything.
Bésale la calva. Nat la rogó. Jefferson la hizo llorar. David la acosó. Uff. Es que todas son verdad. Pero Jefferson fue el del motivo. Pero él no tuvo la culpa. O sea, le hizo que se vaya llorando. Pero quien inició todo fue Nathan. Tengo que ver cuál de las dos opciones me deja besarle. David es el de seguridad. Tengo que ver cuál es la opción que me deja besarle la calva. Ok. Sí, juego del año. Aunque ya lleva muchos años. 2017, 2016, por ahí. Aunque considerando que ella se quedó con Chloe, me imagino que es lesbiana. Así que creo que besaría a la calva de mujeres. ¿Tú qué prefieres? ¿Besar la calva de un hombre o besar la calva de una mujer? ¿O besar la calva de un niño con cáncer? Estábamos todos grabando talk. Elige bien. Ok. La calva de los tres. Lice Award 2022. Tendremos que tener una sección en la que... Mira, descárgate el de Rec Room. Te va a pedir VR, pero tú igual descárgatelo. Está gratis el juego. Si inicias normal, los joysticks del mando van a ser como tu VR. Y ahí nos podemos conectar. O ahí sí cualquier cosa. Bueno, yo recomendaría que nos conectemos ahí, estemos ahí, pero hablemos por por el juego, para evitar problemas de audio. Hablamos por en Rec Room, hacemos una sala privada, nos metemos y ahí platicamos y hacemos como que eso de juego de este, o sea, juegos que nosotros dominemos. Unas dominaciones hechas por fans chafillas, pero no tanto como los Oscar, que dominaron a Spider-Man a mejores efectos visuales, siendo que no lo va a poder ganar porque no los tiene. ¿Dónde se ha descargado la wea? ¿El Rec Room ya lo tienes? Aunque también creo que se puede descargar en teléfono. Creo que en computadora igual. No sé si se pueden conectar entre todos. Me mencionaron que el Nintendo Switch es el único que no se puede conectar en línea. Y el juego es en línea. Así que me imagino que no se puede conectar el Nintendo a otras consolas. Pero sí tiene modo en línea. Y o sea, va a ser una diferente. En vez de ser como que juegos de solo exclusivo este año, más porque este año no han salido muchos, todavía faltan demasiados, poder dominar juegos como este y juegos así antiguos. Ejemplo, salió el del año de la canica como el Gears, el primer Gears. Rec Room, sí, ese mismo. Y tener eso. Obviamente primero organizamos los juegos nominados allí y lo hacemos una encuesta a base preguntando a gente que ahí subiendo publicaciones y eso y que elijan. Tendremos que hacer que crezca el canal. Cuando generemos ya un público, el público va a votar. El juego, la nominación que se me ocurrió, nos va a servir para hacer contenido y divertirnos. Pero el juego también es como tipo realidad virtual y Roblox combinado, pero 100 veces mejor. De hecho tengo un video de ese, está bien chido, lo van a ver. Te puedes crear a tu propio personaje y puedes interactuar, te puedo dar un zap, me puedes dar un beso. podemos bailar, podemos ir a cualquier mapa, a cualquier mundo, hacer casi cualquier cosa. Podemos jugar los mapas de FNAF y muchos juegos. Con eso te digo todo. Y las nominaciones serían más una forma de tener contenido y interactuar con el público que tengamos en el canal, que sí está creciendo rápido. Aparte, el tipo de cosa que es el crew ya es como que o un punto muy alto, o sea, creamos algo muy grande y terminó siendo grande igualmente. Uy, me acabo de hacer un spoiler. Me acabo de lanzar un spoiler. Al final del episodio. Entonces diré, Nathan la rogó.
All I know is that Kate was at a party and Nathan dosed her. She got wasted and kissed some boys on a viral video without a clue.
I dosed her? Without a clue. Have you seen the video? Whatever. Kate was loaded and
You're a
playing the
liar.
field.
You told Kate you took her to the emergency room.
I said I was going to take her to the ER. She sobered up eventually.
Bullshit. Something happened to her and you know.
It's total slander. I could sue you and this school so fast. I already have a personal lawyer.
Wait, Max. You told me that nothing happened yesterday. Are you just making things up? How can I trust you?
I was afraid yesterday, but I have to tell the truth.
I do understand that. And since Mr. Prescott does appear prominently in the video and was responsible for the party, I have no choice but to suspend him until further notice.
Whatever. See you in court.
Excuse me.
Yo la verifico.
I think Max and Nathan need a break before we grill them further. A friend and
Sí
student
lo
just tried to
expulsaron,
kill
lo
herself.
logramos.
They don't need this forum right now.
Yes, I'm kind of devastated right now. I'd like to be with my family.
All right, Miss Caulfield, please sign here to confirm what you've told us. I'll continue this investigation from there.
My head is killing me, but I think I can use my power again.
No, ¿cómo que volver a usar tu poder? Si esto es lo que estábamos intentando, acusar lo que sepan lo que le hizo Kate y salga la verdad, y ahora quieres volver para evitarlo. No, firma. Yo la verifico, no te preocupes.
Well, I think we know less now than when we started. We'll be assisting the police with further inquiries. I know this has been a stressful day. I wish I had the power to change it all for the better. So thank you for coming in.
Solo que el de ella no es detener el tiempo, es regresar en él. Pero hasta cierto punto. Y ese güey es un X-Men. Era doctor o profesor aquí, no me acuerdo, pero es el peloncito ese, el de silla de ruedas.
I couldn't even believe it was happening. It was literally slow motion as I grabbed her hand. And then I could feel her grabbing mine.
Max, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Ever! You reached out, she reached out, hugs, tears, applause. Like a superhero.
Not quite. Look at me. I'm a mess.
You're glowing. Seriously, a human halo.
Un
I'm pretty
halo
sure you got
humano.
your wings today.
I'm so worried about
Wait.
Kate. She did try to kill herself.
¿Viste esa adusto?
All over a video.
Viral is the right word. Like a disease.
So you watched it.
Just 1.5 times.
Ese güey me quiere coger y todavía me cobra por
I don't
abrazos.
mean to sound weird, but there's something ominous going on at Blackwell.
Today proves that.
And I'm working on proof that Kate Marsh is connected to Rachel Amber. Somehow. Along with Nathan and Mr. Madsen.
I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but I wouldn't doubt it. Nathan did scare me yesterday, and Madsen is a straight-up dickhead.
En lo que verifico la cuenta, ¿quieres que juguemos algo en directo?
What the hell is this? The weather confirms this weird day. Feel that chill.
Max, there was no eclipse scheduled today. I would know. I would.
Oye, ¿no se supone que no deben ver un eclipse directo?
I believe you, Warren. I'll believe anything this week.
No me acuerdo cuánto, pero comprar este capítulo me costó dinero. Lo quería todo seguido y se cortó en la parte final. Y lo tengo que volver a iniciar. Bueno, valió la pena mi dinero. Fue bueno el capítulo. ¿Qué se te antoja jugar? Oye, ¿qué haces en el cuarto? ¿Qué haces en tu cuarto? Lo suspendieron, bro. ¿Por qué se mete al cuarto de Kate? Faltan 3 capítulos más. Solo que esos serían luego porque no tengo tanto dinero para comprarlos ahora mismo. A ese güey lo intenté matar hace rato. Ah, no, Kate está en el hospital. Ah, no, espera. Se metió al cuarto que la lastimó, terminó al hospital, o Kate fue directo al hospital y la que estaba solo tiene el cabello igual. El primer capítulo es gratis, así que... y están baratos. Igual sí vale la pena el gasto. Es como los de Resident Evil y esas cosas. No, Resident Evil no. El de Walking Dead. Perdón, los de Walking Dead. Idéntico. Pero sin zombies y puedes volver en el tiempo. A cierto punto. Hay decisiones que son definitivas en la historia. Episodio 2. Se acaba el tiempo. O no hay tiempo, algo así. No sé inglés, lo siento. Ale quiere que vayamos a socializar, pero digo que andamos en stream. Y le dijeron que no. Y todavía faltan más capítulos y muchas decisiones más fuertes. Creo que te hacen elegir en el todo el pueblo o tu novia. ¿Qué prefieres? ¿Salvar vidas o irte a tijerear a una morra mientras todos se mueren? Y es de tienes que elegir. El personaje que mejor la primera vez que me cayó bien la primera vez que lo jugué. Pero volviéndolo a analizar, ver el desarrollo de su personaje y todo eso, bueno, su historia y todo eso, porque el desarrollo del personaje no lo terminé de ver porque aún no terminé el juego, me terminó gustando. Dato curioso, Kate es cristiana, no, es religiosa. En uno de los finales que tiene, si lo hiciste medio mal, no sé si lo hiciste totalmente mal o medio, no sé cuál es las condiciones, tienes que recitarle 2 párrafos de la Biblia. Uno la va a hacer que se suicide y el otro la va a salvar. Pero lo mejor es que te salga el final que me salió, de que la salves con sus hermanas. En la playa. Les dejo esto por mientras, ya vuelvo. Voy a estar igualmente en el chat.
It was really great to see so many fan arts, so many letters, so many fiction, cosplays.
The reactions were fantastic, way beyond our craziest expectations.
It was impossible to expect a huge community like this and so passionate fans, and it's great.
Thank you. We started the project by making the game we wanted to make for ourselves, but at the end it's really making a game for the players, because that's what's important.
So welcome to the dev commentary of Life is Strange. We're really happy to be there and talk about the game. Thank you for watching. I'm Raoul Barbet, one of the co-game directors of the game.
And I'm Michel Cor, the other co-game director of the game.
We are 2 game directors working on one project, so it's really interesting to work that way.
It can be hard sometimes, but I think it's a really interesting creative process, because we can challenge each other on a lot of aspects and find always the better solution for what's best for the game.
If only Michel or Raoul was directing the game would have been really different. They both know how to make a game. Like they're not stuck in their field of expertise. They know a lot of things about each department, and they had this direct contact with the teams.
I'm more from the audiovisual and movie scene, so I was in charge of all the cameras with the camera team. I work a lot with the sound design team also, with the music.
And myself, since I'm from an illustration background, my specialties were more on the art direction, and later, for this game, I'm starting to work way more with the narrative team and the voice recording sessions.
It was cool because they had the similar vision for the game, so we didn't have a yes from one and no from the other.
Actually, Michel and Raoul are in the game when you think about it, because there are 2 game directors, so we have a contraction which is Michel. But if you put it the other way around, it's Raoul and Michel, so it's Rachel. I'm pretty sure they did it on purpose.
The idea behind the game was because both of us worked on Remember Me, and there were some sequences in this game called Memory Remixes, and one of the founders, Hervé Bonin, asked this small core team to think about a game with this kind of mechanism. Very quickly came the episodic adventure game, because we wanted really to do something like that.
There is really a lot of good ways new ways, interactive ways to tell stories.
On an episodic format, you have to make a lot of choice for episode 1, because you won't be able to change after. A lot of assets have to be there in episode 1. So the menu is one of those assets.
It was interesting because there was a lot of variations. We did a lot of tries of what we wanted to show in this menu. The idea was really to basically show the most important locations of the game. We can see the Blackwell Academy on the top right, we can see the lighthouse, we can see the town of Arcadia Bay. We were really trying to give a sense of location and just showing like the game world with the menu.
We really wanted to make the player feel that all areas are connected, and the menu is a great way to do that.
One of the main importance for us for the game was to have a peaceful game with this sense of you can take your time, and we wanted to reflect that from the menu, so we worked on those small wind effects and the leaves that are going around and the nice and soft music. It was just when you start the game you should feel quite at peace and comfortable. And even when the menu evolves in each episode, there is some small details that are changing. For the menu for episode 4, you have the beach whaled. That's this kind of details we wanted to just add with the variations of the menu. The game takes place in Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest, in the United States. When I went back there on vacations, I've seen a lot of places that really looks like what we did in the game. So I guess it was a really big job of references to be sure that everything was correct. But it's also something that's really exciting about making a game, that you have to look at everything and to reproduce reality, and with, of course, our own lens and stylizations. But we really wanted this to feel like being in Oregon. Sometimes people ask us if we choose to have a game in the United States for marketing, for selling the game. We knew that we were fans of like TV shows like Twin Peaks or X-Files. They have those trees and the Pacific Northwest feeling.
I think they are a great example of a small community thinking that everybody know each other and everybody is happy, but when you put something inside this community, it could be something supernatural. You discover a lot more.
And it's really a way to shift things around and to bring chaos and interesting variations on the characters. And in the end, Life is Strange is really a game and a story about the characters, about their lives. It's not a story about the sci-fi elements. The sci-fi elements are just, for us, they were just here to make things interesting.
A ver, bueno. Son 2 por capítulo, así que...
Okay, so let's play the game and...
Yeah, let's play Life is Strange. So this is the very beginning of the game. I think this is one of the very difficult sequences of the beginning of the production, because this is the first time the player will see what the game looks like and will be inside the story. So we got a lot of discussion about this one, and a lot of discussion about the shots, how we are going to present Max's character. The important, as this is a video game, is the player to know where he has to go and the objective of each scene. This scene is a link to the end of the game, of course, and it's also to close the loop and begin with this scene. And when you know the end of the game was something we really wanted to have, so we can see all the FX, and we've got one FX artist, very talented, Thomas. Here you can see a lot of his work, all the particles, the tornado.
We took a lot of time to work on this tornado, because when you're working on an episodic game, it's important to still hook the player from episode 1. So that's the kind of discussion we had about the reason to when should we put something that has a bit more impact and that feels something that shows the player that there is something bigger. So this introduction was a bit like that. We wanted in Life is Strange the player to always know what Max is knowing and to just be with her. At this moment, Max doesn't know where she is, and the player doesn't know it either. We're back to the high school, and which is one of the most important settings of the game, of course, the high school setting and the Blackwell Academy. High school is something where the player will feel comfortable because he knows it, but the transition from the cliff to there is the twist of having something really different, and that should hook the player to say, oh, it's not just a teen story, there is more to it. And then, of course, we can go much over than that and twist it and change the characters. But it was an interesting starting point creatively.
This kind of introduction is really important because in one sequence with some shots you have to discover all the different characters, the main ones, so you will see of course Jefferson, Kate and Victoria.
And it was quite hard to decide between not showing too much, to not break the idea of the game, to not be too big compared to what the game would be after. There is a lot of themes of big ideas on the game, and of course photography is one of it, because photography is still a way to look back to the past. It's linked to the theme of rewind and time manipulation and nostalgia, and that's one of the reasons why Max came back to Arcadia Bay to attend this photography class.
I think for the player to be like Max back in this town when she don't know everyone, but you've got to respect the schedule. It's really, as a player, something great to discover. Also, the lighting was really important in this scene to break the cliff ambience by this sunny atmosphere and all this light coming from the windows.
And maybe we decided to have a private high school rather than just a regular high school for, of course, for the photography course, but it was also to be able to have less students because we wanted the story to be a bit more intimate. We didn't want it to be like this huge high school with so many students. Based on what the player is doing, you can really learn more about them and see that they're actually not just the stereotype and the archetype you would think they are. This is still a perfect example of how episodic is hard, because if you look closely at this poster, there is a mistake on it. It says that the exhibition takes place in the De Young Museum of Art, when actually it's not that in episode 5, it's the Zeitgeist Gallery. We have a really great community, so thank you guys. And people found out this mistake, and yes, it is a mistake. It's when in episode 5 we found out that we couldn't be a museum, it was too big, so it has to be an art gallery, so we changed the name, and yes, there is a mistake like this in episode 1.
I was about to.
Welcome to the real world.
We really wanted to have this feeling of being part of a whole high school. So it means a lot of people, it means bullying, it means difficulties when you're a teenager in this kind of world.
Showing the different cliques and different kind of teenagers.
I think a lot of players love this introduction. The use of music here is really important. As Max feels insecure in this atmosphere, we wanted her to isolate. The music is a great way of isolate yourself when you just want to be on your own. And so since the beginning of the game, we were working with licensed tracks, licensed music. We test when we are testing and prototype some scenes. We put some licensed tracks from artists we love, and Scene Matters was one of them. And when we asked Jonathan Morali, who is the lead of Scene Matters, if it's possible to use his music, he's a gamer, so it was really happy to have this new experience, and for us it's just incredible to work with him. And this kind of editing is really, really difficult to do because you have to choose the important moment in a song and to choose the right images.
Because our writer, Jean-Luc, has written many scenes built around music. The edit is based on the music. It's not the other way.
The music is really important in the game. It explains a lot about the characters because the choice of the music, the choice of the artist means a lot. For example, Chloe won't listen to the same artist as Max. For the anecdote for this guitar part, we asked the lead singer of Scene Matters to take his guitar and to play on top of Gonzalez's song in a clumsy way to be sure that it would be like Max playing guitar.
Ok, ando verificando la cuenta, pero vi algo muy triste. Nos ven más mujeres... No, eso no es lo triste, pero... Nos ven más hombres que mujeres que hombres. Pero tenemos 1000 usuarios únicos. A ver, en panel... Contenido. No me deja. Administrar cuenta. Ah, espérate, configuración. A ver. Administrar cuenta. Es que como son 15 suscriptores y las personas que lo vieron son 1000, así que por eso es muy bajo el número. O sea, si cuentas en general de todos los videos, bueno, sigue siendo poco. Bueno, o sea, esos son shorts. Si cuentas video, la mayoría está suscrito. Sería el 80. Pero contando los shorts, es el 98. Digo, no, sí, 98. o sea, mientras vayamos subiendo suscriptores, es que necesitamos tener público único. Que los que ven los videos sean los suscriptores. Va a subir. O de 1000 visitas y 701 suscriptores, va a subir. Es lo que nos conviene también, el generar también suscriptores. Creo que lo importante de iniciar el canal son los suscriptores. Y una vez ya tienen los suscriptores, son las visitas. Para que el canal no esté de 1000 suscriptores y 5 visitas, o de 1000 visitas y de 2 suscriptores, es balanceado. Necesitamos visitas y suscriptores continuos. A ver, la verificación, ¿tú la estás viendo en teléfono? Digo, en computadora. Porque yo la estoy viendo en teléfono. No tengo todavía la computadora. Datos y privacidad. Aunque veo que ya configuraste muchas cosas. Ya la verificas. Se activó el acceso con la verificación de 2 pasos. Según esto ya está verificado. Pero para videos es más de 15, ¿no? Es que tengo mi video de entre 13 y 14 minutos, así que no me pide tanto. Puedes dividirlo a la mitad y subirlo por partes, pero yo te recomendaría que activemos la verificación. A ver, voy a poner en Google verificar canal y así. Normalmente siempre te sale el soporte de Google o de... Bueno, el de YouTube es el de Google. El soporte de Google... O sea, sí, el de YouTube no es el mismo de Google, pero... el soporte de Google te manda a YouTube, básicamente. Así que me va a salir el soporte de Google y me va a salir un link para... O al menos una palabra de verificación, algo así en más azul. Y eso me lleva a la verificación. Así que canal de YouTube. Mira, soporte de Google. Sí, le queda el pedo, pero sí fue real. Subir de más 15 minutos. Ok. Voy a ver, supuestamente nos tuvo que haber llegado un correo, ¿no? Así que voy a checarlo. A ver, YouTube. El Uber, tenemos un descuento de 150 en comida en Uber Eats. Pero el Uber Eats existe en los países en los que ustedes están, sino para usarlo los de México. O sea, pregunto, lo pueden usar ustedes si quieren. Pero pues me refería con los de México porque todos los que estén acá en México somos del mismo estado, así que ustedes checan la Play Store y busca Uber Eats y me dices si te sale para ver si les dejo el correo o qué onda. ¿Te lo llevas tú, Al, o me lo llevo yo? Pero Ale no se lo ganó. ¿Por qué estamos registrados en es un anuncio. Ya les iba a preguntar por qué tenemos Clark. Ok, la verificación. ¿No quieres que pasemos a llamada de WhatsApp para ya terminar yo el directo? Digo, llamada de Play. Te voy a llamar. Ok, voy a estar aquí en pues. A ver. Es que se va a hacer largo este. A ver, continuamos por mensaje de Play o de WhatsApp.